time together had meant to them, and what a precious gift to have. You can't get anything better than that, than to know that you had a little part in making a difference in someone else's life for God. We were truly partners in ministry, which was very rewarding throughout the years, along with the tears and frustrations sometimes. Before we were even married, I remembered saying to Bud, "You're going to be a great dad." And he really was that. We were blessed with our sons, Brent, Steve, and Wayne, and also having Karen, our niece, with us for about 3 years during high school. Welcoming Brent and Wayne's partners, Debbie and Kim, into the family was always such a precious time, along with Connie, Steve's fiance. We loved the coming of our dear grandchildren into our lives over the last nearly 16 years. Brent and Debbie's Spencer, Joshua, and Autumn, and Wayne and Kim's Zach, Mark, and Max, Gracie, and Lily. What happy times. How wonderful it is to be able to say that Bud lived a life with few regrets. I could no longer wish him to stay with us here. Much as he didn't want to leave us, when he could no longer function and participate actively in life, what a blessing for him to go as easily as he did. He lived a very active life until early December, and he did reach that 80th birthday that he had prayed for. He's greatly missed, but we are comforted to know that he is now very happy and truly free. Of course, we also grieve for ourselves as we miss him greatly. One of the things he said over and over, many, many times, the future is always bright for the child of God or for the believer. Always better days ahead, whether here or there. There is no real to him, and we have the assurance that we will all be together again in that perfect and wonderful place that he's preparing for us. Thank you.
I'm thankful that I was able to spend time with my dad the week before he died in Denver. I got to spend a lot of time talking in the hospital, and as my mom just shared, there were just opportunities. There were sometimes that he was struggling more with his physical condition at the time, but there were opportunities to talk and to share. And really what we experienced there, what I experienced there with him was just so much of what his life reflected, which is, it's what's so amazing and what was awesome about my dad was the integrity with which he lived his life. And so there was not a duplicity in him. It was what you, as my mom just shared, what you saw was what you got. And so it was a continuation of his life in our conversation together. And one of the discussions we had when we were there was how, all of us are eternal beings, every single one of us in this room. We are going to live forever. We're either going to live forever in heaven, or we're going to live forever in eternal separation from God, which is hell. And obviously our goal is to get as many people to heaven as possible, but it's just merely a transition from this life to the next life. And I think from eternity's perspective, when we look at things, especially having a brother who passed away so many years ago, we began to gain that eternal perspective and realizing our time here is just such a short time compared with eternity. And that what we do here, though, is so important for eternity and how we live our lives, the legacy that we leave. And so I'm so thankful that I had that time with him in that final week. And one of the conversations I had with him, of course, was regarding my brother Steve. And when I received the news of my father passing away, one of my first thoughts that I had was, oh, I bet he's seeing Steve right about now. Because I know that for years he talked about that. And that's the wonderful, wonderful hope that we have. And it's something that we truly have within our hearts. It's not something that is just a happy wish. It's something that is a firm foundation for our lives. And it's why I believe that all three of his sons became pastors, not because we felt like we had to, but it's really a calling that we felt like God placed in our hearts, and we continue to carry that legacy and want to lead that and want to further that legacy for further generations. I want to give a little opportunity for some that may want to share. If you're not comfortable sharing here, we certainly understand that. There will be a time after the memorial here in the narthex for some fellowship and also some sharing together. But if you felt comfortable sharing some, maybe your memories about my father, and I wanted to open that up right now.
Well, as I was thinking about Uncle Bud, there's several thoughts that came to mind. But first of all, he was the first one to ever take me fishing, and I also remember the times that our whole family would move in on Bud and Waverly, all 9 of us, and sing at their church. And we were quite a commotion. And I also remember Uncle Bud was a very intense checker player. And he never swore, but he found some creative words. But if you beat him at it, but one of the things that I was thinking that the greatest sense of loss for me right now was that Uncle Bud has pretty much been the spiritual kind of elder of the Hanson family, and I'm truly going to miss that. We're going to have another cousins camp out this summer, and I always look forward to Uncle Bud sharing at that. And he always wanted to make sure, just as Grandma would, that we're all going to live for Jesus, and we're all going to make heaven our home. But as I was thinking about Uncle Bud and praying for the family and for the loss that all of us feel, this is the scripture that God gave me, and it's from 2 Timothy. It says, "For I am already being poured out like a drink offering, and the time has come for my departure. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. And not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing." He has fought the good fight. He has run the race. And I also know that it was not only important that Bud was personally prepared for that day, but he wanted all of us to be prepared for that day.
That's right.
And so in Bud's absence, I think all of us need to raise the banner of Jesus Christ to our world. And as I look out over most of my relatives, it's amazing how old you've gotten to be. And of course, I haven't changed a bit. But anyway, I just feel an incredible sense, wow, now it's up to our generation. It's now up to us to live for Christ and to share the love of Christ. And I was thinking too, I said to God the other day, God, would you mind telling Bud to say hi to Steve for me?
Yeah.
And so the good news is we're all in a process of seeing our Maker someday, and there is a reward for those who fight the good fight. And Uncle Bud lived it well. He fought the good fight. He was faithful. He finished well. And I thank God for that.
Thank you, Randy.
I had the privilege of having Dad in my neighborhood, about a block and a half away, and we could go borrow a cup of sugar, and or a wrench, or a chainsaw, or honestly, his tool collection is amazing. He could start his own pawn shop full of tools, even some tools you don't want, probably, and.